I told you that Yamaha just dropped a baby adventure bike with Dakar DNA and big bike attitude. Yeah, this little 125 might embarrass big bikes twice its size.
This one was completely my fault.
Welcome back, Sprocketeers. My name's Saffy Sprocket, and welcome to EICMA 2025. I'm talking about the biggest, the loudest, and the most two-wheeled obsessed show in all of Europe. Now, if you love the smell of petrol, the hum of engines, and the sight of brand new bikes under dazzling lights, you're in the right place. Now, I've been bouncing from stand to stand all day, and over on the Yamaha display, something small but seriously mighty has truly caught my eye. Say hello to the newest little ripper on the scene. I am, of course, talking about Yamaha WR125R. It might be Yamaha's smallest adventure machine to date, but trust me, it's got big bike energy written all over it. The WR125R as your passport to the world of dual sport. Your first taste of dirt, dust, and weekend freedom. It's that gateway drug to adventure riding, the bike that gets you hooked before you even realize it. And Yamaha calls it the entry point to adventure. And ultimately that's spot on. This bike sits proudly at the start of their off-road lineup, opening the door to the legendary Tenere family. It's where adventure begins without the intimidation of a 700cc or 200 kilo weight bike. Born from Dakar DNA, the WR name carries serious weight. This isn't just marketing talk. The WR lineage has deep roots in Yamaha's Dakar, rally, and enduro history. We're talking decades of sand, sweat, and podiums. Now, this 125 may be smaller, but it inherits that same adventurous spirit. The design borrows styling cues straight from Yamaha's competition range, its slim bodywork, its high ground clearance, and that striking dual-lens LED headlight that gives it a modern, aggressive look. Now, it looks tough, and that's because ultimately it is tough. It looks fantastic. Now let's talk about the heart of the beast. Let's talk engines. Under the tank we have a 125cc liquid-cooled SOHC 4-valve single fed by fuel injection and featuring variable valve actuation, or VVA as Yamaha calls it. Now if you're new to bikes here, what that means is that the engine actually changes its valve timing depending on the revs of the bike. Down low, it's incredibly smooth and torquey, perfect for slow, technical trails or even city traffic. However, when you start to get those revs up high, it switches cam profiles to a rev-happy, lively top end. Because of this, you get the best of both worlds, low-end grunt and high-end fun. Now we're talking 11 kilowatts of power, or slightly just under 15 horsepower, peaking at 10,000 RPM, and 11 newton meters of torque at 6,005 RPM as well. That might not sound like a lot on paper, but when you're flicking through the gears on a trail or carving through the city's traffic, it feels far more alive than you can anticipate, and way more alive than the numbers suggest as well. And yes, this bike is efficient too. Now Yamaha quotes over 40 kilometers per litre on the WMTC cycle, which roughly works out about 94 miles per gallon. And that means more exploring, fewer fuel stops, and a whole lot more smiles for all of those miles. Now Yamaha's also brought the WR lineup to Euro 5 standards, with dual catalyzers, O2 sensors, and an emission system all added in. So on top of that, it's clean, it's compliant, and it still manages to keep that Yamaha classic growl, something that a lot of us worry is getting lost with the new regulations being brought in. So let's talk about chassis and handling. Now this machine is built to explore. The WR125 isn't just about the engine. The chassis is a masterpiece of balance and simplicity, and it's built around a semi-double cradle steel frame that keeps things light but strong, and it's giving you the great feel of the terrain beneath your wheels. Now up front you've got 41mm YKB forks, and at the back a linked monocross shock. It's proper off-road suspension that's been tuned to handle everything, from rocky tracks to pothole-filled cities. I'm looking at you, Manchester. And yes, we do have a lot of them across the entire of the UK. So let's talk about the wheels, and here you get the real deal. Up front we have 21 inches, and at the rear we have 18, wrapped in Dunlop's D605 dual sport tyres. That setup isn't for show either. It's the same wheel combination used across Yamaha's adventure range, including the Tenere itself. In fact, it's what gives this 125 its big bike stance, if you will. Now, in terms of rider comfort and ergonomics, the seat itself sits at 875 millimeters. Now, you can move around freely, stand up on the pegs, or even shift your weight around for even tighter corners. Now, these smooth side panels are designed to transition from sitting to standing whilst feeling really neutral. And those wide foot pegs themselves gives you a lot of stability. So whether you're tackling trails or riding it through the town, it is ultimately an extremely confidence-inspiring machine, and it's incredibly unintimidating. So let's get on to the technology and the brains of the bike. Now, Yamaha didn't just build a rugged little dirt bike, they made it smart as well. And you get a sleek LCD display loaded with trip meters, range, and essential ride data. But hey, let's be honest, isn't that the basic standard for most bikes these days? However, where they do change is that it is connected to Yamaha's My Ride app. So you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, and suddenly you've got full ride tracking statistics, all the data, and even the ability to share your routines and photos online. For a smaller capacity bike, that is fairly impressive tech. However, for the more cynical of us out there, you might say that Yamaha could have done more. Now, braking is handled by the front and rear discs with a single channel ABS active on the front wheel, added for safety in sketchy conditions. So whether you're commuting in wet weather or sliding through loose gravel, like you do on an average Tuesday afternoon, now visually the 125 hits that sweet spot between rugged and refined. The bodywork draws inspiration from Yamaha's other off-road competition bikes, with bold horizontal lines that give it the classic WR look. Now, the dual lens LED headlight adds more of a modern edge and improves visibility overall, whilst the overall design is slim, practical, and ultimately ready for abuse. It's available in two different colours, which is blue and, of course, the black one behind me. And I think they both look sharp, but I'll be honest, I'm more drawn to the black. So who is this bike for? Now, if you're new to motorcycling, this could be the perfect step into the world of adventure riding. You can ride it on a CBT license, and it's forgiving enough for beginners, but fun enough for experienced riders who may just want to tag along on a bit of an adventure. Now, if you already have experience on a bigger Yamaha, like the Tenere 700 or even the W250, I would suggest that maybe you could make this into a brilliant second bike to commute on during the winter, but realistically, this seat isn't the most comfortable thing I've experienced in all of the bikes that I've sat on. But it is the kind of machine that reminds me why we started riding in the first place, and that is freedom, fun, and the feeling of discovery in every twist of the throttle. So, small bike, massive spirit. That is the 2026 Yamaha WR125R. And it's proof that adventure doesn't start at 700cc. It starts right here, with lightweight, tough, and a surprisingly capable little machine that's ready to go whenever you dare. But what do you think, Sprocketeers? Is the WR125R the perfect little step into adventure riding? Would you own it if you only had a CBT license to hand? Or would you prefer something bigger like the Tenere 700? And for all those seasoned riders out there, would you add one of these to your garage? Maybe even just for the fun factor. That's all for now, Sprocketeers. I'm Saffy Sprocket, reporting live from EGMA 2025, currently stood on the Yamaha stand. If you guys want to see more great motorcycle content, don't forget to hit subscribe. In the meantime, ride safe, stay crazy. My name's Saffy Sprocket, signing off. Bye!
This one was completely my fault.